7. Bottom, inside portion. Indian society. Bison give food, clothing, and shelter. The bison was a sacred animal to the Plains Indians because it provided so many of their basic needs. You have learned that 52 products came from a single bison. That's a lot. A bison was a walking department store for the native people. The bison gave them food, shelter, and much more. Butchering the carcass. When a bison was killed, members of the band immediately traveled to the kill site. Women were especially important in the butchering process. While they removed the hide and other animal parts, everyone snacked on bits of the raw meat. They especially enjoyed eating the tongue, liver, and kidneys. The eyes and stomach were also considered treats. Another favorite snack was the bison's snout. This was especially useful on hot summer days when they were thirsty and did not have enough to drink. Now, snout's where their nose is. Chewing on it helped ease their thirst by making the saliva flow in their mouths. Marrow was taken out of bison leg bones and eaten. This was an important source of fat. If a bison calf was killed, the band also enjoyed eating off its soft hooves, where its feet are. When the butchering ended, the band feasted on bison meat. The leftover meat was turned into jerky that was used for food during the months when food was hard to find. Tanning the hides. Early in the butchering process, a hole was smashed in the bison's skull to remove the brain. The brain was then boiled. Sometimes the women chewed on the brains while cleaning the hide. Then they used the brain they had been chewing on to tan the hides. If the hide was to be used as a winter robe, they left the hair on the outside. Tan hides were used to make clothing and teepee coverings. Pouches for carrying food or water were made from hides. Even the bison's bladder was made into a container for food and water. Aren't you thankful for Walmart now? Hides for sacred possessions. Bison hides were an important part of a warrior's shield. If the hide was prepared properly, it was reportedly strong enough to deflect bullets. Shields were painted with special symbols. These images expressed the power the warrior had received in a vision. Hides were used to make bags in which warriors carried objects that were sacred to them. These pouches were sometimes worn around their necks. The objects in the bags reminded them that their power came from one much greater than themselves. Tools, weapons, and more. Ladles or spoons were made from bison horns. Horns were sometimes made into a warrior's headdress. Bones were made into knives and scrapers. There were even uses for the bison's hooves. They could be melted down to make glue, or they might be used as rattles. Bison tails made great fly swatters. The sinew was used to make bowstrings and thread for sewing. The stomach was used as a cooking pot. After it was attached to poles near a fire, water was poured into the stomach. Heated stones were then dropped into the water to make it hot enough for cooking. They added meat and vegetables to make a stew. Even the bison's dung was used. Dried dung was an excellent fuel for cooking fires. It was also placed in pipes and smoked.